Welcome to DTC MTV Product Review.
Hi DTCers, are you there? Are you in there? Yes, I see you.
With your host,
from the Busby Empire
and magician for hire,
spanning the globe,
DTC's very own.
I've been hopping on water.
Guy Portlock.
Welcome DTCers, nice to see you. Nice to see you, very nice indeed. How are you? Festive, I hope? Oh, bloody good, bloody good, bloody good. A lot of people have been asking for some reviews on the old Torn and Restored plot. We've had more Torn and Restored DVDs coming at us and the blooming bells and jingles and Christmassy stuff. So, it's going to be a bit longer than normal, this review, because I'm going to compare and contrast three, my friends. Forfeit, Reuben Moreland, Fuzed, Alakazam product, David Loosley, and Fuze by Jeff Prace, a World Magic Shop DVD. So, I'm going to go through each one, and then we'll try if I can try and pick my favourite. Let's start with Fuze. This is not your, what I would say, typical Torn and Restored. You know the old typical Torn and Restored where you tear a card into quarters and then you and all this. This is more just a little corner, which I think is actually quite fine, because one of my bugbears with Torn and Restored is that generally the normal plot is you are going to have a moment where you're just doing this, look, watch, and then there's all this, and it's going in the pockets, and there's this, which is not my favourite kind of magic, because I sometimes think it's a little bit like, look at this, look at me, and rather than them being of interest to the spectator. I mean, it's quite visual and stuff, but I sometimes think a lot of the Torn and Restored plots, it looks like there's too much going on behind the cards. Whereas Fuze, the Jeff Prace one, I think this is the easiest out of all three. I would say that to start with. I think it's the easiest of all three, or perhaps the least amount of hassle involved. The setup is dead quick, and it's a well put together routine. When I watched the original performance by young Jeff there, I really hated the moment where he went in the pocket. For me, that was just like, ooh, no, I don't like that at all. Like he says though, that's the performance he finds works for him, and if he's done it for loads of audiences and they've loved it, then who am I to complain? But it's just not my type of thing. So it was nice then later on when you get lots of different variations, doing it without going to the pocket. And then, there's one at the end which I quite like, talking about a bit of a gambler thing. And a lot of times when you're talking to the audience, you say, oh, you gamble at all? Have you heard about this type of thing? And it's a nice way of getting into it, where you don't have to go to the pocket. It's a lovely sort of way of talking about a crimp in a card and how that you can then restore it if needs be. I thought it was excellent. So I think the thinking behind this is very good. It is very easy to do, really. It's not difficult, and as I said, the setup's dead easy, and you could reset, or you could have some of these set up so you could do it several times in the evening. It's really nice. As I said, there are a lot of variants you can do where you sign the corner that gets torn off, and then it looks like that sign corner then comes back on. So I think a pretty good and very workable Torn and Restored plot, this one. I think it's nice, because you've got your regular cards with you, you go in, and I think you get pretty good reviews. I sometimes think when you get all these blooming, quotes on the front, you think, oh wow, it's amazing. It's good, I'm not going to semi-aroused by it, but it's fine, it's good. So I like that. I think that's a nice product. I think it's dead easy to use, and I think a lot of people will enjoy performing it, because it's not all this. Which brings me on to Fuzed by Alakazam, which I actually think I'll be honest with you. When I looked at what you got in the box, and I thought, oh god, I'm not sure if this is going to be for me really. You know, if we're talking heavily gaffed, then yeah, this is heavily gaffed. But then I watched the DVD, and I think I got swayed, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if you watch these reviews that often, but I'm very keen on having very little in the pocket, being as naked as you like, really, so that it doesn't feel like I've got jingly jangly in every blooming pocket available. So when I saw this, I thought, oh dear, it looks a gimmick. But then when I watched the performances and listened to what David Loosley was talking about his thoughts about the tournament restore plot, he likes it. I said I've never been a big fan, but for some of the reasons that he said, because it's all a bit like this, and you're doing this and doing that. So then watching his routine, I thought it was pretty good, especially, and this is the thing for me, the scratch card, the torn and restored scratch card. I think this is brilliant. It's ready to go. You've got to find the setup. I mean, the setup's dead easy. He'll show you how it's done. You'll get your setup, and then you can use it again and again, which is great. What I like about it is that once you find where you're going to put things on you, I mean, either in your belt, or they talk about if you wear a jacket, what you're going to do. I think I'm going to come up with my own idea about how I'd store it. And you see, I'm talking about possibly doing it, which means I probably like it. And it's brilliant. You know, you can just, it's one of those off-the-cuff things. Oh, you know, you've been doing the lottery recently? Yeah. Bloody hell. You know, and I think you could bring it in where you to tear it up and then, oh, hang on, that's a winner. You know, and then you restore it. And the restoration, for me, is one of the best restorations I've seen, because although I've actually seen better or more magical looking, those have worked out to be a little bit harder angle wise and a bit more effort, whereas for minimal effort here it looks very fair, very quick, and you hand out in this case the scratch card. Now if that's a winning scratch card, what a great thing to do at the tail. So there you go, there's £2 there, and they go, yeah, you got my, you know, big round of applause, £2, yeah, big, you know, all that stuff. So I really like it. I'm gonna look to put this into my routine, I think, because I think I just like the idea of this tournament restore scratch card. I think it's brilliant. It's very well explained. There's a lot of sense talked, and for a gaff thing, pretty good, because as I said, once the gaff's made, you're not having to, you know, make it every 10 minutes. You know, it's that will, you know, keep it in your wallet, keep it ready to go, and you're off and running. So a lot of sense talk there, and for me to like something that is quite heavily gaff like that, rock on. Because to be honest with you, the gaff state is not in the deck. You know, it's brought into something when needed. So yeah, very worth looking out for. Which then brings me on to Forfeit, and again we get this quote on the front. Reuben Moreland is my favourite young manipulator. Matt King, that's a bit dodgy, isn't it? And use the borrowed deck, easy to do, no sticky stuff, show both sides of each restoration, multiple handlings, talk, cards can be signed. First off, I think there's a lot of good stuff on here. It's a very interesting method. The methods kind of cross over. There's a little bit at times of, which one of my favourite tournament restore, by the way, is Ripped and Fried, I think it was. I bought the box set, Paul Harris, big old thing, cost me an arm and a leg. But Charlie Fry's Ripped and Store, there's a little bit of that in it. There's also a little bit of David Forrest Star in it at one stage, which again I reviewed that. So if you want to look at that tournament restore, check out that review I did. And there's a nice moment where it looks like you're just touching and they restore. However, when they say it's very easy to do, I slightly take issue. It's not difficult. It's not massively difficult, but there are angles to think about. And once again, if you're in a busy old blooming place, if you're a worker and you've got people here and people there, you've got to be a little bit wary of angles. And you know what it's like when you have when you've got drunken people coming up, oh, what's going on here, and they want to look, they want to do this, and Yes, yeah, there's crowd management to think about. That's fair enough, but I'm just saying that it's not as easy as you might think. However, very good thought. Don't get me wrong. You know, a lot of good thought went into this. It's well put together. It's clearly explained. My main issue with this is that you can't really hand a card out at the end because there's one tear that doesn't fuse, to use a pun of somewhere else. So, yeah, someone might say, well, you don't have to hand it out, but I would. What a lovely giveaway that scratch card is. What a lovely giveaway the corner off and give it away with a sign on it. Those are nice giveaways. People keep those, put their number on it, and they'll either call you up for a date or a booking. You know, brilliant. Whereas this, yeah, you go, what about this tear here, Mr. Magician? Yeah, got tired. You know, I mean, I don't like that bit. I wish you could give it out. And that then could also doff its cap at perhaps a bit of the method, perhaps. So that is my main issue with Forfeit. Don't walk if you're going to get mugged. That's what I say. So all in all, this would be third place for me. But I'm not saying don't buy it. Buy all of them. No, I'm saying there are some good bits in here, most definitely. And if you don't mind not giving out the card, I think you'll quite enjoy that. I think the best reaction you might get is the Alakazam one, because I love this scratch card thing. You can build up a big thing about it. I think it's a little bit bigger in performance wise than the Fuze one. I mean, a corner to 4 bits of, you know, scratch card that come together, or a playing card that come together, is a bigger effect in my mind than a corner, which someone might think, oh yeah, that's good, it's a corner. 4 pieces, ooh. So I think you'll get a bigger reaction, depending on how you play it, mind. I mean, you perform it like pants and you ain't going to get many reactions anywhere. But I think this has got a bigger sort of chance to impress a bigger table, especially if you're doing table. It's a little bit more visual, you've got a bit more to it than a corner. However, that's not to say that the Fused is probably a little bit more, come on, let's get into it, let's go, boom, done. Nice sort of thing. So they're kind of on par, I think. Very different in a way, but very good also. So, I ain't going to give them scores, I'm just going to give you that, because it's too difficult in some ways to give them scores. But that is my thoughts, my friends, on some torn and restored staff. That's it. Before I go, what do you call a chalk ice with a moustache? Magnum PI. All the best.
Thank you for watching DTC MTV Product Review.